Hey folks, thanks again for watching Pro Libertate. I just wanted to talk briefly about this meme from Ricky Gervais, and I guess he's a comedian of some sorts. And this is a very popular sort of sentiment that's expressed often by atheists. This is what he says. This is on his Twitter. I think it was from back in August. But this is not unique to him. He's not the first one who said this. It's said over and over again. Saying atheism is a belief system is like saying not going skiing is a hobby. I've never been skiing. It's my biggest hobby. I literally do it all the time. Okay. Well, the problem with this is the atheist protests too much. Okay. Not going skiing can become a hobby. If you talk about it all the time, you talk about how you don't ski, you talk about how stupid people are who do go skiing, and you write books about not skiing, about how there's no point in skiing, how much you hate ski poles and skis themselves, how absurd they are, that sort of stuff. And then it very well can become a hobby, sitting around mocking people who ski. Okay? So yeah, not skiing can become a hobby if that's what you do. But the people who don't ski and don't like skiing and skiing does not appeal to them, they don't really do that now, do they? Which is really interesting. This is the intriguing issue here with atheism. They protest too much. Okay? So if it was just like not skiing, you don't really read books about how dumb skiing is, right? You don't see people writing books all the time about not skiing. But you see people like Ricky and Richard Dawkins, and the guy who wrote Letter to a Christian Nation, what was it, Sam Harris, those dudes, you see them writing about not believing in God all the time. Okay? If it was just like, if atheism as a system is not a belief, but it's just the absence of belief, then why are they talking about what they don't believe so much? It sounds like they believe certain things. And that's absolutely true. A religion has basically three different aspects to it. Three basic tent peg kind of elements to them. It has a creation story, right? Where did everything come from? It has a fall story. What's wrong with the world? What's the problem? And a salvation story. And we know what those are in the Christian scheme. Okay, those are all pretty easy to answer. You have the creation, God spoke the world into existence. The fall, man rebels and chooses to be autonomous from God. And then the salvation, God enters the world and saves man through Christ. Okay. Now the atheist scheme, it answers those questions as well. The world simply popped into existence, or it's always existed. I remember Carl Sagan's The Beginning of Cosmos. Just this absurd statement, absurdly unscientific statement, this guy who hides behind a mask of science, where he announces at the very beginning of Cosmos, the universe is all there is, all there was, and all there ever will be. I don't know how he found that out looking through a telescope, but there it is. So that's the atheist creation story. Okay. It has a fall story. What's the problem? And they answer this one of two ways. They either say, well, the problem is that man believes in myths, man's irrational, and man does not just simply look to evidence. Okay? So that's why everything's so screwed up. Or they answer it by simply saying there is no problem. The universe just simply is. You can't look and see a slaughter over in Rwanda or a Holocaust in Germany and say that that's bad. It just is. That's just what happens. Things happen. Is what it is. And that's how some of them answer him. A very small group. Most atheists try to have some sort of morality without ever really being able to justify it. But that's not the majority answer. But that is an answer. It's just blind, pitiless indifference, I think, as Richard Dawkins put it. That's just the way things are. That's their answer to what's wrong. or one of them, I should say. And then the salvation aspect in the atheist scheme is through science. The man, the priest in the white lab coat will save us. The priest in the white lab coat will tell us what truth is. The guy in the lab coat will be able to, bring about a golden age, right, in humanity by telling us facts, truth, and ultimately saving us. Okay, so that's their scheme. That meets all the basic criteria of a belief system. Okay, and just think about like the Hindu system. The world was created by the gods in some way, or God, but he's like a many-faced God kind of a thing. The fall story is the problem is ego. The fact that we identify the I. The fact I say I or mine or me. That's the problem. Okay? In their scheme. And salvation then is achieved through becoming selfless and being reabsorbed into the divine. Okay? So that's like Hindu, Buddhist kind of scheme. Okay? Real basic, crude understanding of it. My point is just that every religion has those basic elements to it. Okay? And atheism is not an exception. Despite all their protests, despite all their complaints, they're a religion. They're playing the game. They're on the ball field with the rest of us as well. They might not like it, but it's still the truth. Like I was saying, not skiing. The day atheism becomes like that is the day they stop writing books and making posts like this. If atheism isn't a belief, then why are you protesting so much? It's been said that atheism, boiled down, comes down to really just this. There is no God, and I hate him. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe if you enjoy this, and take care.